Hello everyone, it's me Sachin sir. Good morning. Today I am here to teach you the lesson Nationalism in India. It's a history lesson, it's a history chapter, third chapter from SST. Before we proceed, I'd like to ask you, how are you all? I hope you all are in quarantine. That's great. What else can we do in these days? Stay home, stay safe. Let's follow the responsibility towards our nation. Anyways, now I am here to teach you the lesson Nationalism in India. Dear children, before we begin or before we proceed towards the destination of this chapter, I'd like to tell you 10th standard history is gonna be very easy. Yeah, you heard it right. In fact, it's very comprehensive. The only thing is, you need to be attentive, you need to pay your complete focus, you have to hear it as if you are hearing a story, because when you hear a story, you don't forget it. And when you don't forget it, you are very good at writing. Let's create our own answers. Let's get the chapter in the form of story and let them ask any question. We are ready to write because we have got it actually by means of story. Let me clear one thing. This chapter is very important as far as exam is concerned. A very long question, a question for 5 marks, will surely be asked on this without fail. Without fail, a question of 5 marks will be asked. For example, I'll teach you some part and then we'll tell you okay, what type of question can be asked and what type of answer should be written, what points need to be covered, etc. So dear children, let's begin the chapter Nationalism in India. I'm telling you, the destination of this chapter is little far, but at least let us cover the first milestone of this chapter. And the first milestone of this chapter covers introduction of the chapter, later impact of World War I on India, and then third, role of Gandhiji in building the nation in his constructive program. So dear children, let's focus on the first term, introduction. This introduction is related to nationalism. What is nationalism? If somebody asks you what is nationalism, what your answer will be? Your answer need to be very precise. Nationalism means patriotism. Nationalism means feel for nation. Nationalism means love for nation. If somebody asks you what is nationalism, what nationalism gives you? It gives you the collective identity. It gives you the common identity. In fact, it gives you the national identity. Take the example, if you go to any country, if you go abroad, and people ask you your nationality, do you say I'm Maharashtrian? Do you say I'm Tamil? Do you say I'm Gujarati? No, everybody will answer, I am Indian. I am an Indian. That is a common identity. That is our nationalism. We all actually follow the term nationalism, but we don't know that we are following such protocol. We are following in this pattern or in this manner. For example, if something takes place in Delhi, why do people of Tamil Nadu come on the road? If something takes place in Assam, why do people of Gujarat, they protest? This is a bonding that we are not ready to tolerate injustice being done with our people. Because we all are same, though diverse, we live unanimously, we live all together, and we are ready to fight for the sake of our people. Because we live in India, though we are demarcated by our provincial boundaries, but we all are same. But before the era of nationalism, the term was something else. We people were fragmented. We people were living in our own provinces. We people were living in our own regions. And those regions were our identities. We were provincial people. We were not national people. And whatever conflicts, whatever movements we used to do, our people, our ancestors used to do, all those movements were called as regional movements, provincial movements. But they used to be on their own levels. They never took the widespread movement of nation. And Gandhiji identified it. We shall see about Gandhiji, what he did, how did he construct, how did he carry on the term nationalism. So in short, now you have to remember what is nationalism. So nationalism means feel for nation or love for nation. Nationalism gives you common identity or collective identity. This is all about nationalism. I hope you understood the term nationalism. Now about second, impact of World War. Impact of World War. World War I took place between the period 1914 to 1918 in Europe. European countries were running the rat race. They had competition as to who acquires the best colony in the world, especially in Asia and Africa. They had competition among them. And where there is competition, there is mutual distrust. And this mutual distrust gave rise to enmity among themselves. And finally, they started having suspicious nature about one another. And finally, it resulted into World War I. Almost all the European nations, those who were progressive, they participated in World War I. And then the fierce and horrible war started. India had not been the part of World War I. But since directly we were not a part of World War I, but since we were the colony of Britishers, we also had been dragged on the battlefield. We also had been the part of that bloodshed. We also lost our people. And when our Indian people saw their people dying on the battlefield, it invited the rage. It started sowing the seeds of anti-British sentiments. What had actually happened? See, for example, impact of World War I. New economic and political situation. Due to World War I, new economic and political situation took place in India. This new economic and political situation brought instability in the country, which brought unstable government. Later, as war progressed in Europe, England had to win it over. In order to win the war, England had emptied its treasury. England wanted to win this war by hook or crook, because for England it was a war of prestige, and for that purpose England had used its complete finance and economy. But later it needed so much finance, and then the question arose from where to make this finance available. And then they paid their attention towards their colonies. India had been the part of it. They paid their attention towards India especially, because India was a very good market for them. What did they do? How did they acquire finance from India?